Jesus' first miracle at Cana, and 10 key lessons. John 2, 1-11. The wedding at Cana, a suspenseful miracle. The town of Cana was alive with celebration. The wedding feast was in full swing, the laughter of children mingling with the joyous tunes of flutes and tambourines. Long tables groaned under the weight of roasted meats, ripe fruits, and baskets of bread. The scent of wine and spices hung thick in the warm air. For the bride and groom, this was their day of triumph, a union celebrated with every ounce of their family's wealth and pride. Among the throng of guests was Jesus of Nazareth, a young man from a nearby town, accompanied by his mother, Mary, and a small group of followers. All seemed perfect as the feast rolled into its third day. Yet beneath the surface of the merriment, a crisis was brewing. The growing panic. In the dimly lit kitchen, chaos reigned. Servants scurried back and forth, their hushed whispers thick with fear. A young man, one of the stewards, leaned against a wall, his face pale as he ran trembling fingers through his hair. "The wine is gone," he muttered, as though saying it aloud might make it less real. His companion, an older servant, froze mid-step, nearly dropping a tray of empty cups. "What do you mean gone? There must be some left in the barrels." "There isn't," the steward hissed. "I've checked twice. Every drop has been poured." The older man's face blanched. "Does the master know?" "Not yet," the steward replied, his voice low and frantic. "But he will soon. And when he does," his words hung ominously in the air. To run out of wine at a wedding was more than an inconvenience. It was a disgrace, a stain on the family's honor that would be remembered for years. The laughter outside seemed to mock the servants' growing despair. Mary's presence and plea. Mary noticed the subtle shift in the air, the way the servants avoided eye contact, the nervous glances exchanged across the room. Her maternal instincts told her something was amiss. She made her way to the kitchen and quickly grasped the gravity of the situation. Her son stood nearby, calm and unassuming. Mary, ever observant, noticed the subtle signs of distress. The hurried footsteps, the tight-lipped whispers, the occasional darting glances toward the feast. She made her way into the kitchen, her presence immediately commanding attention. "What is happening here?" she asked, her voice calm but firm. The servants hesitated, unwilling to speak, but the steward finally blurted out, "The wine is gone, madam. There's nothing left." Mary's brow furrowed as she processed the weight of their predicament. Then her gaze shifted to her son, who stood nearby, quietly observing the scene. There was something about him, a quiet strength that seemed to radiate from his very being. She approached him, her voice low. "They have no wine." Jesus turned to her, his expression thoughtful but calm. "Woman, why do you involve me? My hour has not yet come." The words were respectful yet carried a deeper meaning, one Mary did not miss. But she also knew her son, knew the power within him, even if he had not yet revealed it to the world. With quiet confidence, she turned to the servants. "Do whatever he tells you." The miracle unfolds. The servants exchanged uncertain glances, but something in Mary's tone quelled their doubts. They waited for Jesus' instructions, tension thick in the air. Jesus surveyed the scene, his gaze falling on 6 large stone jars used for ceremonial washing. Each jar could hold 20 to 30 gallons of water. The guests had no idea what was happening in the kitchen, their laughter and conversation a stark contrast to the tension among the staff. These jars were used for the ceremonial washing of hands and feet, their contents mundane and unremarkable. "Fill the jars with water," Jesus said. The servants hesitated. Water? What good would that do? But Mary's words echoed in their minds. "Do whatever he tells you." Silently, they obeyed, hauling bucket after bucket from the well until the jars were filled to the brim. The room grew eerily quiet as Jesus stepped forward, his presence commanding. He glanced at the jars, then spoke again. "Now draw some out and take it to the master of the banquet." A young servant, barely out of boyhood, stepped forward with trembling hands. He dipped a ladle into one of the jars, his heart pounding. The liquid was clear, like water. Was this some kind of test? Was he about to humiliate himself further? With a deep breath, he carried the cup to the master of the banquet. Each step felt like an eternity, the weight of the moment pressing heavily on his shoulders. The master, unaware of the drama unfolding behind the scenes, accepted the cup with a smile. The servant held his breath as the master took a sip. Time seemed to freeze. The revelation. The master's eyes widened. He lowered the cup, staring at it as though it held the answer to some profound mystery. Then he turned to the bridegroom, his voice booming with delight. Everyone brings out the choice wine first, and then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink. But you have saved the best till now. A ripple of astonishment swept through the room as the master called for the wine to be served. Guests raised their cups, marveling at the rich aroma and unparalleled taste. This was no ordinary wine. It was exquisite, the finest anyone had ever tasted. Back in the kitchen, the servants stared at the jars in stunned silence. The water had transformed into deep, ruby-red wine. The impossible had happened before their very eyes, yet there had been no grand gestures, no dramatic pronouncements. Only quiet authority and unfathomable power. Jesus stood apart, watching the scene unfold. His disciples, who had been uncertain of his true nature, now looked at him with a mix of awe and reverence. Something had shifted. This was no ordinary man. As the feast continued, none of the guests suspected the near disaster that had been averted. They drank and laughed, toasting the bride and groom, oblivious to the miracle that had saved their celebration. For those who had witnessed it, the servants, the disciples, and Mary, this day would never be forgotten. It was the first glimpse of something greater, the first sign that Jesus was not just a teacher or prophet but someone far beyond human understanding. The wine flowed, rich and abundant, a symbol of new beginnings and boundless grace. And in the quiet corner of a bustling feast, the Son of God smiled, knowing this was only the beginning. The story of Jesus' first miracle at the wedding in Cana offers rich moral and spiritual lessons that can inspire and guide people in various aspects of life. Here are the 10 key lessons we can draw from the story. 1. Trust in God's timing. Lesson. Jesus initially tells his mother, "My hour has not yet come," emphasizing the importance of divine timing. Yet, he still chooses to act, signaling that while God's timing is perfect, his compassion can transcend expectations. Application. Be patient and trust that things will unfold in their proper time. Even when circumstances seem dire, God's timing is always purposeful. 2. Faith leads to action. Lesson. Mary's faith in her son is unwavering. Despite Jesus' initial response, she tells the servants, "Do whatever he tells you," demonstrating her confidence in his power. Application. Faith requires trust and obedience, even when the outcome is uncertain. Acting in faith can lead to unexpected blessings. 3. God cares about the details of our lives. Lesson. The miracle addresses a practical and seemingly mundane need, ensuring the wedding celebration continues smoothly. This shows that no concern is too small for God. Application. Bring all your needs, big or small, to God in prayer. He is attentive and compassionate, caring about every aspect of your life. 4. Transforming the ordinary into the extraordinary. Lesson. Jesus turns ordinary water into extraordinary wine, symbolizing his ability to transform the mundane into something divine. Application. God can transform our lives, talents, and efforts into something far greater than we could imagine if we surrender them to him. 5. Generosity and abundance. Lesson. Jesus provides wine in abundance, far more than what was necessary. This reflects God's nature of generosity and his desire to bless us richly. Application. Embrace a mindset of generosity. Share your blessings with others, trusting that God will provide more than enough for all. 6. Humility in service. Lesson. The servants play a crucial role in the miracle. Their obedience and willingness to follow Jesus' instructions, even when they don't understand, are key to the outcome. Application. Great things can happen when we humbly serve and follow God's guidance, even if we don't see the bigger picture. 7. New beginnings and renewal. Lesson. The wine at the wedding symbolizes joy, celebration, and the arrival of something new. Jesus' miracle points to the new covenant he would establish, a relationship with God based on grace and abundance. Application. Embrace opportunities for renewal in your spiritual and personal life. Trust in God's power to bring joy and transformation into even the most challenging circumstances. 8. Honor through gratitude. Lesson. The bridegroom unknowingly receives honor for the miraculous wine, highlighting the importance of receiving blessings with humility and gratitude. Application. Be grateful for the blessings in your life, even when you don't fully understand how they came about. Recognize and honor the source of all good things. 9. God works quietly but powerfully. Lesson. Jesus performs the miracle without fanfare or spectacle, showing that God's power is often quiet and understated but no less profound. Application. Don't overlook the subtle ways God works in your life. Often, the most meaningful blessings come in quiet, unexpected moments. 10. A sign of greater things to come. Lesson. This first miracle points to Jesus' divine nature and his ultimate mission of bringing salvation. It serves as a foundation for his disciples' faith. Application. See every challenge or blessing as part of a bigger story. Trust that God is preparing you for greater things and deepening your faith along the way. Thank you for watching. Kindly share this message, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. Thank you.